art in that way is, I hope that people feel free to express themselves and that we can slowly understand each other a little bit better in this world. And I think art is then a different language to do that. So if it's music or painting or writing or dance or making a film, like all those things can very much inspire me because they somehow hit on a different vibration or different energy.
Welcome to season 2 of Creativity and Beyond.
And this podcast is powered by
Tilburg Emotion,
Elated Frames,
and CJB Prods.
Welcome everyone to episode 2 of Creativity and Beyond with our partners Tilburg Emotion. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here today, so we'll take it over today. We have a special guest from all the way and originally from Tilburg.
All the way from Tilburg.
Jade Van Den Hout, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, she came from a very, very far place. Tilburg.
5 minutes by bike.
All the way from Tilburg. But we are very thankful you still made it because, you're like, you're a little sick. And we all getting sick with all this weather.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, we got a special guest today. Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you for having me.
I need to put that on here, like the choo 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 choo.
Yeah, would be great.
Because I don't have it. But could you introduce yourself to the people? Who are you? What you do?
Yes, I introduced myself to the video or
yes, to the video.
So
you can pick which one you want to talk to.
You can pick all of them if you want, like you.
So I'm Jade. I'm living in Tilburg, born in Tilburg. I'm 31 years old. And
the 30s were... Oh, no, you're not 30 yet.
Nah, man.
No?
I'm still a baby. I'm 18.
Yeah,
and I am working in the field of art and movement as a dancer, performer, teaching and making, and I'm shifting gears between those activities. I think that's the short sum up.
Yes, sir. What was you're an artist, so what was your first interaction with art? Like, which art did you first interact with? Was it music? Was it like...
I was like, damn.
Well, we're looking back to your past. We're gonna.
Nice.
This is a therapy.
Yeah. She's like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Too far back.
Like immediately there comes like a lot of things. I think actually as a kid I very much enjoyed to craft little things. So to sculpt or draw some things.
Yeah.
But
sculpting.
Yeah, or to create little things with stones or just, I don't know, with my mom I remember just making things. Knutselen. How do you
this thing, the
sewing?
No sewing.
This one.
No, I'm very bad at that. Like that's a no-go. No, knutselen, it means like crafting things.
Okay.
But I think if I have to be honest, it will be dance if I really look at the artfulness of it. And music comes immediately with that for me. So I think for me dance started like just in the family with my dad dancing a bit in the living room and the joy of that. And then somehow, when being a teenager, I saw people dancing, and then something changed that I felt like, this is great. What I see, I want to feel that too. Yeah. So then I started to really look more for opportunities to dance.
Okay, but the first dance style that you came across is with what was that? Was it on like just TV or was it you saw some communities here in Tilburg like during that time?
My God. So I think I'm born in Tilburg, but actually I moved to the north of the Netherlands for quite a while. Not that it's such a big thing. So, and I only got back in Tilburg when I was 18.
Okay.
But I think the first dance style, I think there were many things at the same time. I started a bit with street dance, and then I also did some theater and musical.
At that age, like when you were like
when
18?
I was younger, like no, then I was 10 years, I think.
Okay.
Or 12. And then there was like one moment when there was this summer course in Rotterdam. I then was 15 years old, and I applied to be two weeks in this course in Rotterdam. It's called Roots and Routes. And that a lot of dancers from a lot of countries came there, and also musicians. And it was this 2 week of dance camp, let's say, of all different styles. For me, it was quite new. Then also hip hop and popping. And, but it was especially somehow that all these people came together. What really gave me so much feeling of connection, and that was for me like the feeling. Okay, now I really gonna put all my energy into dance.
Okay, so
but I don't have one style necessarily that I felt like, it was this.
Yeah, but that point when you were 18 years old, this camp?
I was 16.
16.
Yeah.
Okay, so that point was the turning point where you like told yourself that, you know what, I will, I'm gonna take this seriously and pursue a career out of it. Yeah.
It was like for me. It was really like I sensed like, oh, this is so amazing. With working, I think I feel a lot of connection through dance with people much more easier than just talking. And I think I really experienced that in those weeks. Because in a camp, you really commit spending time together. You commit to the dance, to learning.
The connection.
So, this was very striking for me. And then I felt like, okay. I need to make it happen.
But before this, did you go to like a dance academy or anything like that?
I was just following classes. Let me think. Yeah, I was doing classes. I think after that, I decided I wanted to go to the dance academy.
Yeah. But
I didn't have any ballet experience. So I was then trying to catch up ballet. But before that, I was doing jazz classes, I think, and a bit of creative projects at Factorium actually also at that time. So different classes.
Nice. So Factorium has been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. It used to actually be in another place. It used to be in Tilburg North.
Oh.
And I would go actually there.
Yeah.
Now it moved to the center. And there they had these street dance groups and stuff where you could join. It was very nice.
Yeah, but during that time, was the community already big, like in Tilburg? Like,
I think I have to be honest that I don't really know so much because I was not living in Tilburg then. I was living in a village, so I was traveling for the dance classes from the village and back. So really feeling being in the community of Tilburg, I was not there so much.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't really know. And then after that, I actually came more into the dance academy, and then that's another story, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there any like trends back then that like you can explain to us in terms of like specifically tied to that time? For example, like nowadays the trend, there's like different trends on TikTok, like for example. So obviously there's probably like a trend back then as well, where people moved. So I'm asking you, like, if there is, were you able to identify that, and what would it be?
Back then,
there was no TikTok back then.
Like, was there a common thing that people did? Like, oh, this is like what's hot right now. Kind of like the history,
I mean, you had like the dance movies, I think, coming up.
Oh yeah, like Dirty Dancing and stuff.
Also, I think, but this is I think older, but I don't know anymore these names, but like.
Honey by Jessica Alba.
So like some of these.
Stomp the Yard.
Yeah, some of these movies. I'm very bad with remembering names, but I have to be honest. I don't know really if I look back to it. If they're really like a trends, I was not really spotting trends. I think.
Was there a difference in how people moved back then till now?
I mean, if we're looking at the academy background or perspective, then I would say my time in the academy, the dance academy, it was really a different time than it's now.
Right.
So there I can really reflect and see that there has been a big change in education.
Yeah.
But before that, I don't really know so much.
Okay. But in education, like, what would be the pros and the cons of that time and now that you see?
So at that time, oh my God, it's such a difficult question.
Creativity and beyond.
And way too big question. No, let's say at that time, I was very lucky. I had a very nice class. So I had very nice people around me. But it was really quite tough.
Right.
Somehow the expectations were high.
Right.
And I think that the norm was different.
Yeah.
So we were used to a certain norm, which if you would put that now, it would not be okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So that you could say it's a change. I think now in this time we're better in communicating as students, as teachers. So you really see like how the education has changed. If you really look at, and at that time I was at the modern dance department, which was also has a different history.
Yeah.
And the classes, for example, were very much based on that. And that was well, for me it was quite a struggle because my body is not so. And I remember when you get into the education, you have to measure. You have to go to the doctor. You have to measure your hips and stuff. And like my hips were like, I don't know what it was, not 30 degrees.
You gotta have the perfect body for that.
Yeah, I mean not the perfect body, but like I understand in some way, but. For me, I could actually not get in. I started at the teacher department at Fontes. I wanted to go to the dance department, but I was not, how do you say?
Like eligible?
Yeah, I was not good enough at this time also. But I got finally in the teacher department. But actually I wanted to do the performance side, but I didn't get the grades. But I could go to the Bach, to the choreography department.
Right.
So then I thought, I go to the choreography department. And then because I could care a little bit less about if I'm good enough for the performance department, I started to find more creative ways to express myself, I think. And there also came guest teachers in, which was like... amazing, because they gave us flow work, for example, which we didn't have at that time.
You didn't have flow work at the time?
No.
That's crazy.
So so then in the end, I could actually go to the performance department. So in the third year, I went to the performance department and I finished the dance department. But it was like a whole journey of making little steps and finding way through it.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
So actually, floor work was not like a thing back then that was like really sought after. Because nowadays, like floor work is like every academy,
No. Like back then, it was the classes were differently organized. I think also Ulrika came in my second year, and she changed a lot of things.
Still does.
She and it's like that she's doing this both like so very slowly to this one side, and you don't see all the work behind it, but you see now if you look back, you see really the change.
Mastermind.
Mastermind. Shout out.
Yeah, I think she does. She is doing a lot of really amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for example, there came this guest teacher from Australia, and we were with I think 5 people performing that piece, and there in that piece, I suddenly her name was Paya Leach, and
sounds like Paya Lee.
Yeah, for me personally, massive shout out to her. Never saw her again after, but she really gave me a lot of space to see myself also differently. And to dance differently, because there was another dancing space which I didn't really felt before.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
and,
long story.
No, it's good. So like when you finished studying, what did you do like afterwards? Did you went straight into like the industry, working like auditioning? Did you went straight to there, or you went for like another journey somewhere?
I moved to Amsterdam because I felt like, okay, I want to get away of Tilburg for a bit, need to breathe and be in a different city. And then I started auditioning things. That was a lot of searching, trying, not working out. Sometimes something came, together with some side jobs, and then on a certain moment I met the 100 Hands.
Okay, there we go.
And I started just as a project base, working for them. But somehow this collaboration or this connection grew bit by bit in small pieces, and since then I've been working now for like 9 to 10 years with them. So that I was very lucky to find people
like a home.
Like it's really for me like a home where I could grow. I've grown so much, and they were working with partnering, which is like one of my favorite things. And they were also working with interactive things and site specific. So it's a lot about how do we make contact.
Nice.
Invite
Is there
the
a name?
audience.
Is there a name for that?
For the interaction?
Yeah. I mean, we know contact improv, but is there a name for this thing?
Yeah, well, with the interactive work, I normally call it interactive work, but it's more, you could say, a bit participatory work, or at least they would create like performances where the audience and the performance would meet, or somehow I would recognize the audience instead of just having the fourth wall. And
right.
So they were very much looking for how can we meet. And I found this very interesting, and it also challenged me as a performer to be very open. And to practice openness on stage. And together with the partnering things and working on locations. We did performances in fabrics, like or buildings or outdoors. So this gave me, like it really, what you say, it really was for me really a home to grow in, and also it gave me a lot of inspiration. I'm now making my own work, and that's definitely also because of all the experience I had because of them.
And you created a performance also using that recently, right? Like
so the work, my own work, I'm very much interested in this interactive place. So my wish is to create somehow these transformative places as a performance can be, where somehow an audience you can walk in and that something can happen and you can walk out a bit differently. So it can be with a new perspective
Yeah.
or a new experience, or you saw something else, or you had a new meeting.
Yeah.
But it has the possibility to transform something or a change. So this interaction, which I learned at the 100 Hands, is definitely feeding that process of my own work.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's really great.
If you could actually tell, if someone asks you, what are foundations that is in you, like dance styles in a way, like what would you say? Like all the foundations, because for me, like I would say popping, like a very strong popping, hip hop, and tiny bit of breaking because I was in a crew with breakers, so I learned. So I think those, Hollow
back CJ.
And Jay has like a very strong breaking foundation, hip hop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
but for you,
it's a good question.
Classic.
Sorry, man. I just see you doing it.
Yeah, I used to do hollow back so much.
6-step hollow back.
Yeah, that's it.
Clip.
I'm just thinking, I think it's a very nice question because normally I don't really identify so much with one style. I find it very difficult.
I think nobody should identify with one style because you have to learn many different. You have to learn many different styles to really grow as a dancer. I don't think you should get stuck up with one. Don't stay in one box. Really learn different styles, and you're gonna find your originality within those in that journey. So
I think I've been moving through many things, but if I look back to it, I think there are some things that coming back, and it's definitely partnering. So how we communicate with the body. Leading, following, I don't know, pushing, pulling. This kind of things. And I think there's partnering. I think the fighting monkey practice, which I've been doing, has also a lot of
very nice transition. I've been waiting for this to come up.
And there's so
before you go further, can you talk about fighting monkey, because I don't think a lot of people know this.
So fighting monkey is a practice which is developed by Joseph Frucek and Linda Capetanea. They're based in Greece. How to explain this short? They call it life supporting practice, and they look at how a human is aging, moving, responding to things in life, communicating through physical performance, through art. And through communication. So the language is very broad. It's working with a lot of games, a lot of body, which is everything related to close contact, but also sculpting, working with tools. So this also has a big influence on how I perceive things and do things. So I would say that part. And then I think the work with the 100 Hands, so this interactive part as well. So partnering, interaction, fighting monkey. And then, these I think are a bit foundational things at the moment.
Nice. But you right now, on what journey where you are, in your personal...
In my personal dance.
Personal dance, bro.
Say that.
Make a bridge.
Exactly.
So I think maybe it's nice to make that transition. For the last years, I've been working on this project, Cracking the Shell of Dance. So it's my research into the origin of the motivation to dance. So why do people dance? And of course, that question you cannot answer with one answer, because it's stored in all our bodies, and it's it's depending on different contexts. But being busy with that really made me realize that I think I felt a bit disconnected to my own dancing experience. So that project, I started it 3 years ago, I think 4 years ago. Really somehow brought in a change to bring really back this joy of dancing. And also to start to get more comfortable really in my body to express.
Yeah.
And then this year or last year, I think that's what the bridge you want to make. I started to do some KRUMP classes with Lenny. And then from Lenny, I went a lot to Rotterdam. And got to know the KRUMPing community. And let's be very clear, like I'm a total newbie. So but this is really for me, definitely, you can definitely call it a new journey in dance, which is really great. It was a long time that I really felt so attractive or like, how do you say, drawn to something.
To a certain.
That you just feel like, oh, I'm so tired, but I have to be there. So, you just reschedule your life because
there's that session.
So
I remember those days.
Damn. I think he's a KRUMPer too. Was a KRUMPer.
Yeah, I used to. There's one I didn't mention, but that was one of my foundation. I used to train with the guys from Ireland. Actually, Lenny used to train with them when because he lived in Ireland before.
He went over for a program.
Okay.
With, what's his name?
Jaran.
Yeah.
Oh, J Solo?
Yeah, I think
J
so.
Solo? Yeah. So, I did that for like, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years maybe.
Yeah.
There's even like a battle where I was in the middle of like a transition, learning KRUMP, and you could see me trying to KRUMP, but then hip hop was still there. It's like, man, this is so whack, but it is what it is,
Nice. I didn't know this. So nice.
Yeah. But that's such a nice journey. Because now we're up to date, to like where you are. Yeah. But I want to ask, like, could you give us 3 inspiration from like when you started, like while you're starting, who or what was your inspiration, and also in the middle part of your journey? So maybe when you're like 20, some. Who and what was your inspiration, and now?
My God!
So just 3 things to think about. You got this.
I got this.
Yeah, you got this.
Okay, just let me think. So you're saying from as a kid?
Yeah. What
was my inspiration to dance?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
You can't say your dad.
No.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Peppa Pig.
Well, oh man. Okay, so I would say definitely the people I met in this summer camp, like they were absolutely inspirational to me.
Right.
And then I think also just music in general, like all different kinds of music and all different kinds of sounds that made me dance. But I remember also that I was looking at videos on YouTube and like looking at that and going to try by myself and like like
who was you watching?
I don't know anymore. Because I was like, okay, now this question is like I don't know anymore exactly, but like it just I was
random videos
and like, oh, this is great, and I was improvising then by myself in this in the room, this I can imagine. So these were inspirational things for me at that time. Then 20. God, so many things. Let's
and now we're back after a quick commercial break. It's good. Yeah. It's a look back too,
No, I have one thing which comes. Like in this, I was also working a lot back then with under dance, but also outdoors. So for me, also I start to really love to work outdoors. Right. So nature became a big inspiration for me to dance and to move with. And that still resonates today as well. And yeah, oh my God, I just, you just sometimes you saw this amazing performance. And I think if I saw a dancer which was really connected to themselves, that you feel a dancer is really feeling themselves, then I would feel that too, and that would always be very inspirational for me. And then now, what inspires me now?
Yeah, what or who, if there's.
Well, it's definitely all the people in the KRUMP community. I find them very, they're a big inspiration, and I also really enjoy that they're very supportive. I think it's very special. And then, I also really like to work with people I somehow don't know. So this last project I did, I, for example, worked with Monique. She's an older lady who's here from the neighborhood. And I started to work with her for a dance performance. She was for me a very big inspiration. So I'm very inspired also by other people's stories and how other people express themselves. And I think for me also art in that way is I hope that people feel free to express themselves and that we can slowly understand each other a little bit better in this world. And I think art is then a different language to do that. So if it's music or painting or writing or dance or making a film, like all those things can very much inspire me because they somehow hit on a different vibration or different energy. So again, I don't really have one person or things, but like many things.
Nice.
What is it about KRUMP that drew you to this style?
I was thinking about that.
I got the first one.
I think it's definitely that I can express their parts of myself which I normally feel not so comfortable expressing. So it can be big or more rough, or you really take space. And I think that's on one point something I really would like to discover, and something that also I also feel insecure about. So, but let's say the language of KRUMP, because it's so expressive and explosive and there's so much storytelling, so you really have to be connected to yourself and also with the people around, but to tell you, I think. And I think that's definitely has been a challenge for me, and then now slowly touching a bit upon that. I think that are the words for now. But it's still very new. So
the rawness of KRUMP is different. You just drop everything off.
Exactly.
It's literally the true you. Like,
it's very so honest. And you also have to be very honest with yourself, I think. And then also with others. So I think it's it's really
it's
great.
A beautiful style.
It's so beautiful.
It's like you still kind of like in a box because of the style and techniques and the foundation, but at the same time you have a full freedom. Not like popping, like you cannot fully like, it's not as raw as KRUMP, because KRUMP really you can let go. Hip hop sometimes also, but if you really stick to the true hip hop essence, that you still gotta be cool, like there's certain things that you cannot, but KRUMP is completely different. It's just raw, just let it go, basically. Just let go.
I also feel that like you can also really have this character which can give a lot of freedom, I think. And I think what is so beautiful is that there's also this passing through of the dance, or like somehow it's like there's so much energy which is like recharging in the building with all those people. So that like it's really funny that you can walk in and like nothing is happening yet, and then people are dancing together, and then like, I don't know, 20 minutes later, you just feel like the heat and the dance and the energy and the spirit or whatever it is. I don't know.
Support.
It's like I think that's really great.
The support and the love, even though like, say if you travel to like, I don't know, country that is very, very far, and you go to their KRUMP session, they will still support you like you were there. Like,
I don't know, like I've never been around to go.
You should experience that, because they will still like hype the hell out. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, so for me, it's really still like a very new thing, and what I feel about it. What I like also is that I not really necessarily do it for me as a dancer, or like as a professional dancer but I really feel it's more for my hobby,
for yourself,
human side, and of course that is like, you know, it's that's mixing up anyway, you know, everything comes together, but
it's a way for you to really escape and express, like,
I don't know, escaping. Let's say, I don't know, but I think it's something like this.
You're still in the
like,
journey of it.
It's like a personal thing. It's not that I want to, how do you say? Of course you want to grow, but like be good at it, or, you know, identify, like, it's like more that I feel like, oh, it's from me and I'm tasting it.
That's true.
The
goal is
we
not
see what
to,
it is. It's a process. That's the goal.
Exactly. Loving the journey of it.
Loving the journey of it. And we see.
Do you prefer creating or performing? Or teaching? Well, you teach a lot, so it's part of it. So performing or like creating?
It really actually depends on
the project.
On the time of how I feel. There are times where I really feel. There was a time, I think it's like 3 years ago, where I felt like, I'm good to maybe let performing go for a bit. And I wanted to create more and just teach more, because I think some part of me was a bit tired, and felt like wanting to transit into something else. But now I have to say that sometimes I feel again, I would like to perform maybe again. So it's like changing. And the thing is that everything requires something else. As a performer, you give your day to a work, and that requires a certain mindset and presence. As a maker, it's like you're like in your mind and in your body, and like and as a teacher, you really try to create an environment where you can learn together with. So it's really something else. And I like the chair shifting between those things.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool.
But it's also sometimes a lot to shift between all those things.
Nice.
I think especially as a maker, if you're talking about the challenges of the field,
we can talk about that
we don't
soon.
Okay.
That's my next question.
That's the word. The segue. We're trying to make.
She felt it, you know. She felt like she was thinking about it.
We gotta ask that. We gotta keep this podcast under 1 hour. That's the challenge.
What was it now?
40. We're running to 40.
Oh damn!
Yeah, it goes fast, man.
Goes quick.
Okay.
So shoot your shot, bro. Shoot your shot.
As like a maker that's currently in Tilburg, what are some like opportunities you think upcoming makers are unaware of in Tilburg that they could take advantage of more? Because surely, like you see, like the upcoming makers, and you're like, but maybe they could try this one. They could go here, you know. Yeah,
I think like sometimes in education we learn that we really have to, how do I say, isolate ourselves from one another. Well, I think that's really not the way. I think the thing is actually to connect with one another. So to help each other out and to collaborate. So to maybe seek for each other's help and maybe create something together. So that would be one thing. I just think in Tilburg actually there are quite some opportunities for that
Yeah.
if you connect with one another and for new makers that they aren't aware of, which are in Tilburg.
Yeah. Like that, if you were to start over again, like right now,
Mhm.
what are some things you
Mhm.
would do immediately knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I as a maker.
Because I think the main one that I know is people say, oh, you should apply for Macca's funds or something. I think that's like the common path that people are directed to straight away when they want to become a maker.
Yeah.
But outside of that?
Yeah, I think there what it's is this looking for collaborations. So it's like also showing up in different settings.
Yeah.
So maybe also outside of the dance field sometimes, and to see, because I think often there are a lot of opportunities.
Right.
But sometimes there's still also in Tilburg I find a gap between the dance field
Yeah.
and how do we say, the people,
Right.
or like the city. Even though you have makersfonds and you have a lot of things which are really great, like
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But still somehow I sometimes miss the connection that whatever we make, if I make something, that it doesn't just land with the people who make and dance,
Yeah.
but that it goes really to the people who maybe are not a professional dancer.
Right.
So that you don't make only art for the people who make art.
Yeah.
So I think that would be something where I feel like there's quite an openness in Tilburg if you find these different places.
Yeah.
I think it does requires a lot of energy though,
Yeah.
because you have to put yourself out there and stuff like that.
That brings me to my next question.
There you go.
As a freelancer, is it more important to work hard or work smart? So is it more important to spend all your hours every day, like, man, I need to... Because I hear of people spending days writing like applications and stuff like this to try get the next project going. But do you think there's like a different approach to that?
Yeah. So I definitely did the working hard thing.
I've seen it in the library. You'll find it there.
Like I think it's also like the mindset easy. Like if you feel like, oh, I tried my best, then you gave everything, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we feel comfortable with that idea.
Right.
But I think there's also sometimes it's good to find a healthy way of giving the things, giving the energy, doing the labor and working on the things.
Yeah.
And of course you have to work hard for that, but to also sometimes work more smarter, which is maybe for everyone different. So I would say both.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So what is what is this creative process like? So when you create something, what is your creative process? How do you get there?
You ask Alison and Chilton.
Yeah. Oh, you was watching a podcast.
No, yeah, so like a bit, but let me think, how do I get there? So I think the first thing that comes is like somehow there comes an inspiration, or I start to see things,
Right.
and that excites me. And I think there's like the seed which is like planted. And then there is like this, okay, there's this idea, how can I create a structure around that idea can come to life? And then how do I create a setting and all the other things? And then if you then start the creating process, you're like a lot of things further. And then within the creative process, how am I? I think I'm exciting about what I see. I'm very inspired. So this is what I feel. But for example, I find it quite difficult to make choices. So that's definitely a challenge for me if you want to be a maker. Because you have to compose things and choose things all the time. And there are like these days where you somehow get into a flow, where you feel like, oh yeah, this works and it's true, yeah. And there are days where you like don't see it, and you have to make a choice, and then you test it, and it's not. And so it's really a process.
Yeah.
Like, and you really get to know yourself as well. Also, where you leak a bit, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I find it sometimes challenging as a maker that you have to do everything. So I'm like. Putting the photo, writing the text, choosing the music, doing, guiding, saying something. Like a lot of things I'm not good at, but you still have to do it as a maker.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like multitasking.
You gotta wear all the hats
you have
of
to
production,
all the hats.
like production house or something.
Yeah, and I got slowly better in like changing the hats and wearing the hats, but like it's still that I feel like sometimes I have one hat on, and that hat actually it requires me so much time and effort because it's actually not so I'm not so good at it, so I really feel also this last year that I felt like I'm much more looking forward to collaborate also. So you're not all the time alone. So sometimes this process can also feel a bit lonely, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So the question was, how is Jade as a maker, right?
No, your creative process.
Oh, my
yeah. Pretty much.
So, I think still like my creative process,
so
somehow it's like growing, it's like slowly growing.
Yeah. Oh, it's still kind of like, it's ever-changing.
It's ever-changing. Yeah, you're never done.
Yeah, so you like, but depends when you create, like you get the inspiration and then you play or experiment with all the ideas, and the hard part is to like which ones to take away and which ones to keep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but how can you actually tap into your creative flow kind of like on command, or you have to go through something to get to your creative flow,
like a ritual?
Yeah. Do you have to like light an incense and be like, who's
Poetry girl ritual. Jason is calling me poetry girl.
Oh,
because like every piece I make is like a poetic subtitle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. That's gonna be good for the last question.
So my creative flow, if I can tap into it.
Yeah, can you tap into it on command, or do you have to go through certain process to get to your creative flow, or just flow state in general?
Yeah. As in for making, it's every day different. Like I do feel like one thing I have to do actually to get in my creative flow is to connect with my body as well. Right. So I always like to start with somehow a ritual practice or like a dance practice or a body practice to somehow arrive a little bit in the studio. And then I think when I come into the flow is if I dare to follow the intuition, right, and not think too much.
Yeah, so that kind of like is like play in a way. Yeah. So also play plays a big part in your process too.
Yeah, it's like very exploring, and I think that's also what I like. I really identify myself more with the term of being a researcher than a choreographer. Right. Because I really like to research, and that makes it's for me. It sounds different than being a choreographer. Right. I think also it's often a team. You want to say something?
Alexa, everyone's your guinea pigs.
Everyone is your guinea pigs. Experimenting on everyone.
Experiment number one, come over here.
She's been experimenting on you, Chilton and Allison.
Shout out.
Well, actually, you know what it actually is that I also find like I don't want it to be all about me, like my story. Yeah. I find as a choreographer, I don't really have necessarily the feel like, oh, this is what it has to be about me. I really like to work with people. Yeah. So, and I like to research because then it can be an unknown outcome. Like I want to be open for the meeting or the process to happen. Yeah. and then the process actually becomes the product
Right.
of a thing, instead of that I'm only busy with making a product.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
You got extra questions, bro?
No, man.
We can slowly, because we got 10 minutes left. Man.
Oh my god.
Nice, that's crazy.
Oh, wait,
Well,
let's see. Nope.
You know, no more further
We'll
questions.
come back.
Yeah, I wanted to ask like more about like subsidies funding, but that's for the next, because it's gonna take long if we talk about this thing.
Yeah.
So we could slowly get there and wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, how do you feel about how the scene or the community in Tilburg? Like, I mean, you've been here for years also. Like, the change that happened. Like, do you feel like it's gonna get somewhere? Like it's gonna get further, or do you, because you know what's happening now with the government and all this stuff?
Oh yeah,
like, yeah. How do you feel about where the community or the industry here in Tilburg is
The
going?
industry
Like,
in Tilburg, where it's going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you feel like it'll last, or do you feel like?
I do think art will last.
Mm-hmm.
And dance will last. So I think yes, but I definitely think it might change.
Mm-hmm.
Change things.
Yeah.
I think at the moment also everyone is like searching.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a bit of this time of like checking in and
But isn't it better now than what it was back then? Like, or was it better back then?
What do you mean with back then?
Just trying to make a living out of doing art here in the city.
Yeah. I think now it's also okay, but now I think we're in this changing period that we have to wait. Like, how is it gonna land? How are these statements things gonna land? So we're all a bit like waiting, what's gonna happen. And I do always have a feeling that Tilburg, I mean, I was living in Amsterdam for so long.
Yeah.
It's much bigger. You're much more like one of the so many people.
Yeah, so much more opportunity.
Yeah.
And
well, actually, it can also work the other way around. That actually, because you're among so many people, it's
saturated
hard to connect.
Yeah.
I was like, it was quite hard to say hi to a stranger in Amsterdam.
Right.
While here, there are like more ways to connect with people, I feel, and also to write maybe to people or to talk. So somehow the relations are a little bit less far. Yeah. I would reply with that now.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. You got something on you, Jay?
They literally just went.
Blind.
No, I was like, oh.
It just passed.
Yeah.
I mean, I can also ask you a question. I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it is creativity beyond. Like, what for you is creativity?
Man. CJ, you can go first.
We did answer this, I think, at some point, but maybe now the answer will be different. I mean, to me, creativity is just being able to really express yourself in a way that you feel like, in whatever way that you feel like. There's no limits. There's no rules into however you want to express yourself, and just basically, like trying new things, trying things that you never tried before, and just create something out of that. You can ask Heirik about this to me all the time. No, what about that's what creativity is to me.
Nice.
I think for me it's about grabbing a form and then being able to do something with the form. So if I grab the form of like dance, then I need to do it in a way that's me. If I grab the form of jiu-jitsu, then I need to be able to do something that's like me as well in it. So that's what I think it is.
So you have to include yourself in the form that
Yeah.
you choose
Oh, yeah.
to commit to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
What
true.
about you? What is creativity? I forgot. Yeah, we forget. We usually ask this question too,
Yeah.
because that's how I remember we answered
The
it.
first questions we asked.
Yeah. Like Heirik was. We asked Heirik, and he was like, yeah, you need to watch that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, to you, what is creativity to you?
For me, I think so many things, but
Yeah.
I think creativity for me is also how you solve things.
Yeah.
So I can have a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and I have like my tools of solving that problem.
Yeah.
So it's I can also be creative with I don't know, solving something practical, which is not maybe necessarily art.
Yeah.
But I can still be
That's-
creative within
Exactly.
that.
That's the thing. Like, people think creativity is just art. Like, if you don't have a creativity to solve a problem, you will never solve that problem because you only see it one way. But there's actually different paths to
Yeah.
solve this problem. But yeah.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said is different paths. That's for me is creativity, that we are able of combining things or making different paths, or if one path doesn't work,
Yeah.
how do you then create a different path with
Yeah.
the new circumstances?
Yeah. I saw it.
She about to get off.
But like,
She about to get off. Man.
oh god.
Don't play with Yada. Don't play with Yada,
No,
man.
it's I was just expressing a mountain. You know, you have the mountain,
Yeah.
and then there's like you cannot go,
Some
and then you have to
obstacles.
change the next. That was what I was doing. But like, so for me, creativity is really about that. I think. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also connecting to art, but it's not necessarily needs to.
Yeah.
I think for me, art is also. I think with art you really want to express something, or
Yeah.
tell a story, or
Yeah,
give
yeah.
something. You want to
Yeah.
create a new world, and you want to give something. So somehow with art, I think something wants to pass through you and
Right.
give it, and it has to be stand by itself.
Yeah.
So it's not about you or something. So in art, there is this. This giving aspect, or this you are creating things with your creativity,
Yeah.
but there's also this
But not a purpose of just for you, but it's also for the other people that if they come across this, they see this, whatnot, it will impact or have something in their own lives.
or it's like somehow it goes out of you. Let's say I can be creative with around the mountain,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
creativity, but I'm not necessarily making an art.
Right.
But I can though, if I,
Yeah.
but then and I thought it was interesting also what you say. Then you put yourself in it,
In it, yeah.
and the moment you make art and the art is there, you put yourself out in it. I think
Right.
maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm just pondering about it.
No,
I don't
no,
know
it's-
what is creativity
yeah.
in art. Like it's just thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different meanings, and like, cause it's a very vague. Yeah, it's a very vague thing. Like everybody could have their own meaning into
That's the
creativity
beauty.
and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's art, like it cannot be just one thing.
Yeah.
If
good
it's just one
also.
thing, then there's no creativity in this world.
So we know that it's not one thing.
Yeah, no, everybody got their own, and this is why we have the podcast, because we want to know
Yeah, it's super
their own
nice.
creativity and other people's, and we learn from that. We take
And
what you
I
have,
learn.
we apply, and then exactly, it's all exchanges and learning, and
I think we also we don't know things.
no,
I think that's
it's
such a thing to remember. It's like we don't know.
no. The more we know, the more you don't know.
Exactly.
Like that's basically how it is. Like, oh shit, I don't know much. I thought I knew. Like every time you learn something new, it's
Yeah.
always like that. It's an ending, like learning, or leaving. Like in this world. So
Yeah, and I think also if you feel like, oh, I don't know things, then it requires a certain to stay open.
yeah,
And I think
exactly.
that's so
Openness.
essential.
Yeah, openness is very, very essential. Because once you just closed off your mind and whatnot, man, you're gonna be stuck. Girl. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be left out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And I mean, it's not easy to be open a lot, and I don't
yeah.
maybe sometimes you also need to close a bit because we cannot be open all the time.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Introverts represent.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Exactly.
I'm like also not always able to. I really need my social detachment.
Yeah, me too. Especially at this age. I'm like, I go to party. I'm like, man, damn, I gotta go home.
Well, you guys are going to party, right? With Anna soon. That's what I heard.
Oh no!
Anna was like, "Yo, we need to go to this party."
Bro,
Yana and CJ.
She said it last night, but did we? I don't know if we ever.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I was like, oh, it's like the first time I was hearing it when she said it. I was like, what you mean party? But yeah, okay. Last two questions because exactly an hour and a minute. Is there any message you want to leave out to artists who are only starting or trying to get into industry or moving to Tilburg? Because this is an international podcast. We have like 5 viewers from each country.
That's great. No, but that is great.
But yeah, like any advice, because with the knowledge that you know now, you know how everything works, like any message, something inspiring you can bring out your poetry, girl. I don't know.
Say what?
Stay buck.
Yeah, stay buck.
No, I think maybe you have to edit this out. No.
Commercial break.
Like I have space to think.
Welcome back to Creativity and Beyond. You just saw a commercial there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have something. It's actually someone else said, like two things. One is what I think I was watching a documentary and think in that they said like it's like a famous quote, I think, don't die with the music inside. So it's to just whatever music you have,
right.
you know, to just be comfortable to or try to share it, because it's beautiful to share things. We learn through sharing things. And something someone else said like lately to me was like, it's all an offering, so that every situation you have is an offering to learn something or to experience something. And for me I really like that, because it makes you instantly more grateful for who you are. And blessed in that sense. And I think just the quote, trust the process.
Yes.
That's like a good one. So yeah, it was quite poetic, no?
Yeah,
I think you can.
Yes, sir. Is there any like, can you leave 3 things like art, whatever, it could be music, films, books, for people to check out, like 3 things. Could be book, films, music, something to leave them to.
His head's about to explode.
It's like, you know what's happening is sometimes that the question is so there are so many things, and then my brain just goes,
it's too much to say.
It's like too much to say, so I cannot say it.
Could be a sculpture, whatever.
Fuck.
Yeah, maybe some like park, you know.
Can I put this in the in the lines beneath the YouTube?
Yeah, you can too. If you cannot think now, you could once we upload it, just put it on the comment. Okay.
This for sure.
So
I can have like 1 minute still, but like.
Yeah. So the answer to this question, check it out in the description below or in the comment box.
Let's do that. I like that.
Yeah, they will comment it down. Okay, the last thing now. Last thing. I think this one you will kill. Can you draw? What are the 3 philosophies that you live by?
God.
This one you cannot.
Can't skip it.
Yeah, you can skip this one. This is the last question.
Okay, I think it's like a little bit similar what I just said. Saying in like trusting the process.
Trust the process.
Like I try to say that to myself as well.
That's one. Trust the process.
I saw in the latest podcast, which I checked, that someone said drink water. I can maybe like identify.
It's
with
Chloe.
that.
Chloe said drink water.
Yeah, so
I'm happy that you actually checked the podcast.
I did. Like I was like, oh, I want to sing a little bit of this, so I took like a little small bit.
All right.
Okay, drink water, trust the process.
Chloe, little baby.
Yeah. Chloe is calling you.
I think. Okay, fuck. I think that we keep seeing each other, that we keep meeting one another, to keep seeing each other.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
And that's been it.
Yes, sir.
That's been it. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast, and really thank you, Yada, for coming and
for being here.
Yeah, for being here, even though you're still in the process of getting better, but trust the process, right? You're gonna be better.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's
thank you.
Really nice.
Yeah,
to
it's been a pleasure.
Cozy.
Been a pleasure to get to know you, your story, and this has been Creativity and Beyond, episode 2. It's me, CJ,
Jason,
and we out, yo.
Thank you.